Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about one of my absolute favorite tropical houseplant, which is so incredible underrated. Maybe you guessed it right, well probably from the title, but we're talking about Syngoniums. Those are my all-time favorite colourful, easy care houseplants. I want to talk you through all the basic care from what I learned in the past couple of years on how to take care of them. Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm a UK houseplant creator with around 200 plants in my one-bedroom flat in London. And today I want to talk about all of the basic care I learned in the last couple of years about those absolutely beautiful Syngoniums, which are one of my favorite houseplants. Syngoniums are one of the most colorful and easy care genus. They are absolutely beautiful. They have the most interesting variegation from green to bright pink. Those are the perfect houseplants to just, bring a little bit of color into your home. So Syngoniums are tropical houseplants. Natural habitat are the Latin Americas, so from southern Mexico down to Brazil. In their natural environment, Syngoniums are climbers, so they attach themselves with their aerial roots, which are those little bits you can start seeing, onto tree trunks, and they're going to start climbing up towards the sun. You have to imagine that in the rainforest there's really dense foliage. There is so much stuff growing. They are trying to get the brightest light possible, hence they're going to climb up towards the sun. With my Syngonium elbow, you can see here the white one. I need to attach it soon to a bamboo stick or to a moss pole, but we come back later to that. Because they're so highly adaptable, they are making a perfect houseplants because they're really easygoing when you figured out the basic needs. Another thing I want to mention first, that they're having this really fun arrowhead shape of the leaf. But as soon as they mature, they kind of lobe out, as you can see it on this one. But let's talk about the soil first. I know most of you know me as the PON and semi-hydro girly, but I do have still some Syngoniums in soil. This is my Syngonium Pink Splash. It has absolutely gorgeous green variegation with some baby pinks freckles in there. They do like their soil to be a little bit more on the moist side, but it does need to be fast draining. So what I normally do is I have a mixture of lots of bark, cocoa coir inside, some cellulite for the nutritions, some cellulite, warm casting. And that's normally, I'm going to mix that all up, and I do have to water that quite frequently. It's in a terracotta pot here as well, which is absolutely cute. Can we see that cute pot? If you have it in soil, make sure it's a fast draining, light, airy soil, which can hold a little bit of moisture though. Out from our PON side, the different kind of PON I do have them in a coarse PON mix. As you see, their roots are a little bit, smaller and thinner than philodendron roots, so you can get away with fine PON and coarser version of PON. So they are very versatile. They are really good for self-watering too. Just make sure that you adapt them. You don't just throw them in PON and just start a self-watering immediately, because that would, rot your roots. Just, train it to the self-watering. This is my Syngonium Red Spot tricolor. It is absolutely beautiful. Can you imagine this in 2021? I think for a wet stick I did pay £200 for it. a wet stick. But I do have some Syngoniums I haven't repotted in years and they're still doing fine. I do want to repot them at this year, definitely 100%. But as a good example, we have my Syngonium Confetti Tricolor, which is very, very beautiful too. Look at this. I have her in a mix from, you know, coarse, fine PON and perlite to keep the moisture even more up. And as you see, it's doing fine. You have this part which is still growing bushy, but as soon they mature, they want to start trailing. So this second part of the plant wants to start trailing or like climbing up. So I do need to attach something or let it trail. I do have to make that decision soon. Let's talk about watering. If they are in soil, you have to water them way more frequently. If you have a terracotta pot, I probably water it in summer every 3 to 5 days, depending on the weather. Of course, I'm just, you know, sticking my finger in or a chopstick to see if the soil is wet. They don't like to dry out really. They like it more on the moister side. Not soaking wet soil, but they do prefer it on the moister side. You will see if you forget to water them, they will slow down in growth, or if you don't give them enough water. But still, even if you forget to water them, they will show you, they will droop, the leaf will droop down, they will show you they want water. And you just water them and then they perk up again. They are a very forgiving houseplant. Similar it is with PON. You can put them in the self-watering. They are actually quite thirsty plants. You will see the water reservoir is going to, well, empty way faster compared to some of my other aeroids. And this one, I let it dry out for 1 or 2 days every couple of weeks. Just, you know, prevent a little bit of the root rot, which you can potentially have if it's constantly wet. And with fertilizer, I'm using my trusted liquid gold leaf. I absolutely love it. From my plants in soil, I'm just watering them once a week with it. And with my plants in PON, I basically rinse them through with fertilized water once a week. Winter and summer, all year long. What I do with the PON is basically I close my sink, the plug on my sink, and then I fill up with water. I add some liquid gold leaf in there and I just put all the plants in. I use the same water. I water them from above and just let them soak it in for like half an hour to an hour, and then put them back into their normal self-watering pot. I don't think that fertilized water should be in the water reservoir at all times. There only should be water in there. So every time, it doesn't matter which fertilizer you use, just water them, empty out the water reservoir, or just put them on a different bucket, sink, container, let them soak all the fertilized water in, and then just, you know, put them back into their container without any fertilized water. What's the third part of the Syngonium care? It's going to be your light situation. Syngonium do not like direct sunlight. As I mentioned before, they are growing in tropical rainforest. They are used to grow under all of the canopy of the, you know, plants, trees. They have filtered bright light. So if you put them behind a sheer curtain, they will do absolutely fine. As an example, I have left this for 1 day in the UK sun and it got completely bleached. So bright indirect light is the key for a happy Syngonium. As I mentioned before, Syngoniums are climbing plants. So if you put them on any kind of pole, it doesn't have to be a moss pole. One of my, I call them my OG Syngonium is this one, which is a Syngonium Morito. It is absolutely beautiful. I have it on a normal like bamboo cane. I don't have it on a moss pole. And the newest leaf, you can see how they start to lobe out. Absolutely gorgeous. And they are very happy like this. They don't need necessarily a moss substrate to climb on. Of course you can, they will be happy, but you can just use a normal bamboo or plastic stake. I prefer those green garden stakes because they do not rot like the bamboo stakes, especially if you have them in semi-hydro. But then, they are very versatile plants. As you can see on my Syngonium elbow, I have it as a trailing plant. It literally is trailing down like this on my IKEA cabinet. The leaves won't get too big compared to the Syngonium morito, but they are doing fine like this. So you can choose in your home how you want to display them. You want to have them, you know, trailing down from a shelf somewhere, or you want big beautiful leaves. And then I thought I can show you how I propagate my Syngoniums, because it's one of the most easiest thing to do. I will show you where exactly to cut your plant, and then you just put them in water and let it grow, and that's how we can multiply them and make an even bushier plant. So what you need is a scissor or a knife and some disinfectant. I have some medical grade ones from Germany. We are disinfecting the blade. Don't forget to disinfect your hands or wash your hands. Okay, that's very close. You have the leaves here growing. Those are the aerial roots. You see the little knobs there growing out? Those are going to be roots, either aerial or root. So, and we have the second one here. Those are the two, root, leaf. So where the new leaf is growing from is from up to here. So what we are going to do, so here inside this bit on the stem, that's where the node is. What we are going to do is very, very easy, and that's the rule for most of aroids. We are just going to cut right in the middle of those two roots. So there it is, your new cutting. And now what you have left to do is we just stick it in water. This is it. We stick it in water. This is it, and now we wait. But yeah, that was my basic care guide of how to take care of your Syngoniums, because those are my favorite easy plants to start with. And there's such a big variety of Syngoniums out there, from, you know, velvety ones. I used to have velvety ones as well. I currently do not. I hope with this video I can, you know, encourage you to try some Syngoniums more. They are like such an underrated houseplant. They are such an underrated species. They are not too expensive anymore. You can get them, you know, in your local supermarket. You can get them quite cheaply now as well, like the rarer variegated plants compared to other rare plants, you know. People spend thousands. I never would do that anymore, but people spend thousands on a rare houseplant. And, you know, they are cheaper than anthuriums, they are easy to take care of, they're adapting nearly in every environment you're in. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. And yeah, if you want to see more about, you know, my videos, my plant care, my advice, then please subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it. I hope I talk to you down in the comments over the next week, and I see you next Friday. Bye!